This is a Bissell Cordless Spinwave Vac, and it's really the future of where Bissell is going because they take the Spinwave, they added a vacuum to it, and they added a tank so it can clean your floors. Now let's check it out and let's see exactly what it can do. So the reason why the Bissell Vac is not that strong is that you see that the motor is all the way here. So the motor is here, and you'll see it from the back. And so here is your motor. It has to pull particles not only from here, but it has to start here. So there's a big distance that the particles have to travel in order to get into the tank. So that's why the suction power as a vacuum is just okay. It's not going to be the greatest. And let me take this out. You can see it right here. You can see the entire path. So this is where the particles are sucked out of. They're going to be fed through this tube. Inside, they're going to be coming out through here. So they fed through the tube, they come out through the top, and they go into the tank. So same thing if you look at the Bissell Featherweight Cordless. So you have the brush roll, and that's the difference here. You have a brush roll here that's going to be spooling, feeling like it's self-propelled, picking up the particles, and then pushing it into the tank in combination with the motor. So if you look at the buttons on your Bissell, that's your battery indicator, your power, your vacuum, and your mop mode. You can activate them both at the same time, and that's going to affect your overall battery life. So just to recap, what are the key features of the Shark Steam Mop S7001? The Shark Steam Mop is going to be lighter because this weighs in about 7.8 pounds, while the Bissell Spinwave Vac weighs in about like 9.8, 9.9 pounds, so about 2 pounds lighter on the Shark. The Shark also comes with LED lights, something that's missing from your Bissells here. The Shark comes with a 14.5-inch cleaning path, which is 2.5 inches larger than on your Bissell. Similarities are that both units say to clean and replace these mop pads every 3 to 4 months, so that's going to be a long-term cost between the two. In terms of maneuverability, both are coming with a swivel. Let me show you how that works. So you unlock the Shark, you unlock the Bissell. So work pretty similar in terms of the swivel here. It's the same thing if you go on the edges, you got to go back and forth this way. Same thing on your edges here. You can go sideways, sideways, sideways. So because the Shark doesn't have a vacuum part, it is completely edge to edge on the brushes all around versus on the Bissell, which has the vacuum, so it's only edge to edge on the sides, not on the back or the front, as you can see. So we're going to clean up this dried milk as well as this is dried Pedialyte. So I have spilled Pedialyte and some oat milk on the floor, and I let it dry for about 35 minutes. So in case of a mess like this, what do you do? I recommend for the milk, you're still going to want to absorb some with a paper towel before you use the Spinwave. If you use the Spinwave alone, because there's nowhere for the water to go, it's not going to get picked up. It's just going to be very saturated pads. So we're going to clean it up a little bit, and then we're going to use it with the Spinwave. I have it on the spin mop and the vacuum, so it's working. And you can see some of the messes. Good job. So the secret of the effectiveness is going to be that vacuum, because it can pick up these small particles on your floor, something that you just never really are able to with your any type of spinning mop, or just generally prior to the vac mops, they just didn't exist. So the controls are ridiculously easy because you have vacuum and mop, and that's really it. And then you have the power button. So this is where you're going to be looking at just kind of the details. So look, I got little crumbs on the floor, mopping, and I pick it up. It's not going to be ingrained in my mop pad. I don't have to pick it up with my fingernails off the floor. And you can see that it will make swirl marks, but because of the pressure it applies, and just because of how easy it is to use, you'll find that the swirl marks disappear when you let it dry. And so I'm charging the Spinwave Vac, and that's what it's going to indicate when it's nearly full. It does charge in about 3.5 hours. One thing on the Bissell is that the plug has been updated, so use a proprietary plug there. Hard floors, it also performs very well, performs just as well on kitchen tile and bathroom tile, as well as stone and marble. And again, that's because the Spinwave action is pretty rudimentary. This is just a Spinwave with a vacuum and it's cordless. But I rarely will ever agree with cordless, but in this case, the cordless makes life so much easier because mopping with a cord is no fun. Now, this is going to be on stone. It is also very effective on stone, as you can see, so no issues here. It can also pick up a majority of any crumbs that you have on stone, so there's no surprises. So now that we're done, I mean, it really did a very good job cleaning the floor, and the vacuum part of it for this type of floor, for tile, for kitchen, for hard floors that are smooth, the Bissell SPINWAVE Vac is very good because it's kind of like a vacuum Swiffer, Sweeper, wet mop, all in one. It's going to be better than the Dyson Submarine for sure. And let's see how dirty the pads got. And you can see that the pads themselves put in some good work. So they did clean up a lot. And if you want to know how to clean them and what you do after, you just remove them and throw them in the washing machine. Just take them and then put them in the washing machine. So it's been about 15 minutes since we did these floors, and you can see how clean they are. I mean, that's why you get a SPINWAVE, because if you want your floors to be shiny, it's hard to beat the performance of it if your floors are already clean. This cannot pick up that big of a mess. It is really that you're going to vacuum first, or you have relatively clean floors, and then you can use the SPINWAVE Vac. It will do the rest of the job, and it'll do it really well. So a huge fan actually after trying it out. I think for a lot of people, this might be all they need to clean their kitchens, their hardwood floors, and their bathroom tiles. So it's a solid offering. Cordless makes it easier, and it is better, in my opinion, than the regular SPINWAVE. So the Bissell SPINWAVE vacuum is really a compromise between a cordless vacuum and a SPINWAVE or a floor scrubber. It doesn't have the steam. It doesn't have all the conveniences of a wet dry vacuum. It doesn't have all the conveniences of a traditional floor scrubber, but it tries to merge them together so that you can put all of these functions into one unit. You're sacrificing having smaller tanks, you're sacrificing the ability to add steam, you're sacrificing certain things here, maybe a little bit of weight, but overall, if you have, you live in a 2-bedroom apartment, you got a condo, you got a smaller home, this is going to be really good because you can consolidate and use this instead of these. This is really limited by the size of the tanks here, the water tank as well as the dry tank, because it's not that big. So 2,000 square feet, 1,000 square foot homes used as a vacuum, going to be full with very quickly. You got a lot of pets, it's going to be full very quickly. You need to do wet dry, and you got pets and hair and you got stuff on the floor. Well, it's not going to do a great job sucking everything in because there's no brush roll to agitate and pull it inside. The suction power is really focused on how strong the suction air is, not how strong the brush rolls and how aggressive it can be at picking up different particles on your floor. So by merging a wet dry vacuum with a floor scrubber, what the Bissell SPINWAVE Vac is really a okay floor scrubber and an okay cordless vacuum. Not the best of the best, but it does both. So with that, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box below. We will get back to you, and please hit that like or subscribe button because it really does help support our channel. And I'll catch you next time, showcasing to you all of our floor scrubbers here. I'll see you soon. This is Dave with the French Glow. Bye, bye, bye.